Number 1. The cradle of the world's most beautiful beauty queens. There was a time when Venezuela stood as a symbol of wealth and modernity. In the 1,950 seconds, the country wasn't just the leading economy in South America, but also ranked among the top 4 nations with the highest per capita income worldwide. People used to joke that living in Venezuela back then was better than living in Switzerland, and that was hardly an exaggeration. All of it came from the black treasure beneath the ground oil. Venezuela was like someone who had won the global lottery, possessing over 303 billion barrels of oil, each containing about 150 liters. In monetary terms, that reserve is worth roughly 24 trillion US dollars, nearly equivalent to the GDP of the United States, the world's largest economy today. It's fair to say Venezuela was once literally swimming in oil money. During its golden age, the capital Caracas was fondly called the Paris of South America. Cars lined the streets, luxury restaurants sprang up everywhere, and people dressed in suits and evening gowns, as if they were living in Hollywood's golden era. Supermarkets overflowed with imports from the US and Europe, and the middle class treated vacations in Miami as nothing out of the ordinary. But then, everything changed faster than anyone could imagine. In 1999, Hugo Chavez came to power, promising justice for the poor. He nationalized the oil industry, expelled foreign companies, and poured money into welfare programs, handing out cash, housing, and free food. The problem was, all of it depended solely on oil revenue. And when global oil prices collapsed, Venezuela's economy went down with them. As income dried up, the government began printing money to cover the deficit. That marked the start of a nightmare of hyperinflation. In 2019, the International Monetary Fund estimated Venezuela's inflation rate had reached 10 million%. In other words, with just $1 US, you could become a millionaire in bolivars. At that time, a roll of toilet paper cost 2.5 million bolivars, a pack of diapers 8 million, and a kilogram of beef as much as 9 million. It sounded insanely expensive, but in reality, all that money was worth barely more than $1.50. People stopped counting money, they started weighing it. Many shops even placed a scale right next to the cashier. On the streets, paper bills were scattered everywhere, trampled underfoot like trash. Some people turned tragedy into a livelihood. They used worthless banknotes to craft handbags, wallets, and decorative flowers. These items, made from real money that no longer had any real value, were sold to tourists for a few US dollars. Some artists even assembled thousands of bolivar notes into giant mosaics to reflect the downfall of a once glorious economy. Number 2. The unique tribes of Venezuela. Did you know that the word cannibal actually comes from the name of a tribe in Venezuela? That tribe was the Caribs, who lived along the northern coast of Venezuela and on the islands that are now part of the Caribbean. When explorer Christopher Columbus arrived in the region at the end of the 15th century, he heard stories that the Caribs had attacked and eaten neighboring tribes. Some Europeans even claimed they had witnessed the Caribs boiling their enemies in pots. The word Carib was later mispronounced by the Spanish as caniba, which eventually evolved into cannibal. However, to this day, researchers have found no solid evidence that the Caribs were actually cannibals. Many historians believe the stories might have referred to symbolic rituals meant to spread fear and demonstrate warrior power. Also in Venezuela, deep in the Amazon rainforest, there still exists a tribe almost completely isolated from the modern world, the Yanomami. They are one of the largest and oldest indigenous communities in South America. The Yanomami live in massive circular communal houses called llanos or shabanos, some of which can hold up to 400 people. The central area is used for rituals, celebrations, and games, serving as the heart of village life, so every night feels like a small festival in the middle of the jungle. The Yanomami culture is so distinctive that it often leaves outsiders unsettled. They don't bury their dead instead. They cremate the bodies, grind the ashes into powder, mix it with water or banana soup, and drink it. They believe this allows the spirit of the deceased to return and live on with their family. The Yanomami were also known as one of the most warlike tribes in the Amazon. From a young age, boys are taught archery, stealth, and combat skills. To them, killing an enemy proves courage and loyalty to their people. When Western anthropologists first encountered the Yanomami in the 20th century, many were stunned by their warrior spirit and their determination to preserve tradition. Meanwhile, in Western Venezuela, the Bari tribe is known for its highly unusual marriage customs. Here, women can have multiple husbands, and it's completely normal. Every man is responsible for protecting and caring for the children, so every child in the village calls all of them father. The Bari believe that a healthy child should be raised with love and protection from many people, not just one individual. Some researchers suggest this practice helps maintain population balance and reduces conflicts among men in the tribe. Interestingly, they don't celebrate birthdays the way we do. Instead of blowing candles or cutting cakes, they hold a first hunt ceremony. When a boy catches his first animal, it marks his passage into adulthood, a sign that he's ready for marriage and for taking part in the tribe's adult rituals. Number 3. How did Venezuela collapse? Venezuela is known as the beauty queen powerhouse of the world, the birthplace of some of the most stunning women on the planet. People often joke that out of every 10 women you meet on the street, 9 are former beauty queens, and the remaining one is probably their coach. It may sound exaggerated, but it's actually rooted in truth. The country has won 7 Miss Universe crowns, 6 Miss World titles, 9 Miss International crowns, and dozens of other beauty pageant awards. In some years, Venezuela even claimed 2 international titles within the same month, earning the nickname the Beauty Queen Factory. The strength of this beauty empire lies in the people themselves. Venezuelan women are known for their honey-toned skin, well-balanced features, deep alluring eyes, and radiant smiles. Their beauty blends the sensuality of Latin heritage, the softness of the Americas, and a touch of distinctive confidence and poise. However, natural beauty is only part of the story. Behind every crown is a grueling journey through Venezuela's beauty academies. Across the country, there are more than 20 schools dedicated to training future beauty queens. Students receive rigorous instruction in English, dance, makeup, catwalk, communication, and stage performance. Here, everything follows the principle of no pain, no gain, no hardship, no crown. But to achieve the National Beauty Queen standard, many young women undergo extremely risky cosmetic procedures. Some have nose jobs or butt implants at a very young age, and by their 16th birthday, the most desired gift might be a breast augmentation surgery. Some parents even inject hormones into their daughters to delay puberty, hoping it will help them grow taller and achieve a more model-like body. Despite doctors warning about serious side effects like hormonal disorders, osteoporosis, and fertility issues, many still go through with it, believing that if nature didn't grant them beauty, they would simply create it themselves. And if you think that's the limit, Venezuela is also home to one of the most extreme weight loss methods ever: stitching part of the tongue to make eating painful. Those who undergo it can only consume milk or thin porridge, losing up to 15 kilograms in a month. In recent years, though, the idea of beauty has begun to change. Venezuelan women are shifting toward a healthier and more natural image, valuing well-being over perfection. More and more young women are choosing exercise, balanced diets, and self-acceptance, celebrating their authentic beauty instead of chasing an impossible ideal. And how about you? Would you like to learn more about these beauty queens, from their personalities to their love lives? If yes, comment number 1. Number 4, the lowest minimum wage in the world. The minimum wage in Venezuela is currently about 130 bolivars, barely $1 for an entire month of work. Yes, you heard that right. Just $1 for 30 days of labor. Although the era of million% hyperinflation is past, inflation today is still dizzying reaching around 170, 2% and projected to climb close to 190% by the end of the year. This makes the bolivar nearly worthless. Since 2022, the government hasn't adjusted the minimum wage, arguing that even an increase wouldn't improve living conditions. Instead, public workers receive a few allowances such as an anti-economic war bonus worth a few dollars, a food bonus around $40, and other small subsidies. Altogether, the average monthly income ranges from $150 to $200. Meanwhile, the minimum cost of living to stay above the poverty line is about $500. In other words, Venezuelans are surviving on less than half the amount needed to maintain even the most basic standard of living. As a result, over 80% of the population has fallen into poverty. Many families have cut down to just one meal a day. Children are dropping out of school en masse because their parents can't afford books or tuition fees. International aid programs have been shrinking, and even the World Food Program has had to cut rations by half, leaving millions of children without their only meal of the day. But the tragedy doesn't end there. In Venezuela, power outages are a part of daily life. If you're dining in an upscale restaurant when the lights go out, staff will instantly appear with candles, flashlights, or start up a small generator. It's become second nature. In residential areas, people are used to eating dinner under the dim light of rechargeable lamps or phone screens. Some families even use motorcycle batteries to power small fans, just to feel a breeze in the stifling heat. The causes are many. The national power grid is old and poorly maintained, and fuel is scarce. During the summer, when electricity demand spikes, locals jokingly say that blackouts in Venezuela are like a lottery. No one knows which neighborhood's turn it will be today. In rural areas, things are even worse. Some places lose power for up to 10 hours a day. Students study by oil lamps, small vendors close early because they can't keep their goods from spoiling, and hospitals are forced to postpone surgeries when outages hit mid-operation. Backup generators often run out of fuel and can't stay on for long. Those who can afford it install generators or solar panels, considered a first-class ticket out of the darkness, at least for a while. Number 5. Cultural shocks in Venezuela. Venezuelans have a special passion for the lottery. In a country where the economy is in crisis, inflation keeps soaring, and jobs are scarce, many people see lottery tickets as their last chance to change their fate. The most popular game is called Triple, a 3-number lottery drawn up to 3 times a day. Tickets are sold everywhere, in grocery stores, newsstands, and even by street vendors. Just take a few steps outside, and you'll see people holding their tickets, checking results, and dreaming about hitting the jackpot. What's interesting is that Venezuelans don't pick numbers at random. They have their own number-picking secrets. If something unlucky happens, they'll choose dark numbers. If they spot a strange license plate, they'll write it down as their lucky number. And if they dream about someone, an animal, or a specific event, there's a dream interpretation chart the next morning to convert those images into corresponding numbers. Small booklets sold in markets list hundreds of dream codes for quick reference. Some radio stations even have special lottery programs where experts share number-picking tips, predict results, and discuss luck itself. Aside from their love for lottery tickets, one thing that often surprises visitors is how casually Venezuelans talk about skin color. Words like negro or negrito, which literally mean black or little black, might sound offensive elsewhere, but in Venezuela, they're affectionate nicknames used with friends or lovers. For them, it's a sweet, endearing way to speak, not an insult. However, there's one topic you should probably avoid on a first meeting: religion. Most Venezuelans are Catholic, so differing beliefs can make conversations a bit uncomfortable. And just when you think you've gotten used to everything, another culture shock awaits you in the bathroom. In Venezuela, toilet paper isn't flushed down the toilet but thrown into the trash bin. It might sound odd, but there's a simple reason. The plumbing system is so old and fragile that even flushable paper can clog it. If you accidentally toss paper into the toilet, You might be the next one looking for a plunger to fix the mess. Interestingly, many Venezuelans only realize how unusual this habit is when they move abroad. Some say that when they first moved to the US, they kept throwing toilet paper into the bin out of habit until their roommates asked, "Why are you doing that?" That's when they laughed and realized that in most other countries, flushing paper is completely normal. And how about you? Have you ever won the lottery? Comment below and let's see who has the best luck. Number 6. Venezuela and fascinating facts. Venezuelans are known for being deeply emotional people. They express love openly and passionately. Gestures like hugging, kissing, or holding hands in public aren't considered inappropriate. In fact, they're seen as signs of genuine affection. If a couple doesn't show any public displays of affection, others might assume their relationship is in trouble. Even elderly couples sitting in the park smile approvingly when they see young lovers sharing a kiss. On the other hand, talking about salary, income, or expenses is viewed as impolite. In Venezuelan culture, emotions are valued more than material things, so money-related conversations can easily make people uncomfortable. However, there's one thing travelers should be especially careful about: body language. The okay hand gesture that most people use to show agreement is actually considered vulgar and obscene in Venezuela. Using it in a market or shop could provoke angry reactions or even get you thrown out. In some regions, giving a thumbs up can also be interpreted as "go away." So it's best to just smile warmly instead of using hand gestures if you're not sure what they mean. Clothing is another thing Venezuelans take very seriously. They see the way one dresses as a reflection of character and social standing. Wearing wrinkled shorts or flip-flops might get you refused service in some stores. Even manual workers often wear neatly pressed polo shirts to work, and older women never leave home without lipstick. Some say that even during power outages, women use candlelight to curl their hair. A survey found that about 87% of Venezuelans admit to judging others based on how they dress. Also, yellow is considered an unlucky color, so people avoid wearing it on important occasions. Some believe it's linked to the energy of envy, and that wearing yellow on exam or interview days might drive good luck away. Another charming custom is that Venezuelans often clap when a plane lands. This tradition dates back to a time when the country's runways were old, and flights were frequently bumpy or delayed. So when a plane touched down safely, passengers would applaud to thank the pilot for getting them through a risky flight. Additionally, during special periods such as Holy Week or election season, the Venezuelan government enforces a nationwide ban on alcohol. Police are authorized to confiscate drinks, close bars, or revoke licenses if violations occur. Even tourists carrying unopened bottles of alcohol during these times can face fines. Number 7. The place of paradise and chaos in Venezuela. Right in the heart of Caracas once stood a skyscraper that was meant to become Venezuela's new financial symbol, the David Tower. Rising nearly 200 meters with 45 floors, it was launched in the early 1990 seconds under the investment of financial tycoon David Brillenberg. But when the banking crisis hit, Brillenberg passed away. The project was halted, and the massive structure was abandoned, a silent concrete giant towering over the capital for years. By 2007, as Venezuela's economy fell into deep crisis, thousands lost their homes and jobs. With nowhere else to go, more than 800 families occupied the David Tower. From there, the world's first and only vertical slum emerged, home to around 3,000 residents. The people transformed what was once a financial skyscraper into a makeshift but lively community. They installed their own electricity, ran water lines, built stairways, and divided spaces into living areas. Motorbikes were used to move between the lower floors, while higher floors could only be reached by climbing stairs, as there were no elevators. Despite the absence of railings, windows, or safety measures, life went on. There were barbershops, improvised dental clinics, and each section was managed by local representatives. Residents contributed small fees for maintenance, kept order, and helped one another, creating a truly self-governed community in the middle of the city. Contrary to what outsiders might imagine, the inside of the David Tower wasn't just a scene of poverty and chaos, but a tight-knit community full of resilience. They created their own order and survived together through one of the toughest times in Venezuela's history. Many came to call it a paradise in the midst of turmoil. If the David Tower symbolized a refuge for those who had lost everything, then Venezuela's prisons represented the opposite: pure chaos and lawlessness. One of the most infamous examples is the General Penitentiary of Venezuela, once considered the most dangerous prison in the world. Inside, inmates divided control over different areas, established their own rules, and organized life like a self-contained society. They collected fees, ran shops, and even hosted parties. Hidden videos from inside showed prisoners wearing soccer jerseys, playing guitars, and feasting as if they were in a resort. Guards stood only outside the perimeter, rarely interfering, leaving the prison to function as a separate world detached from society. Relatives of inmates were allowed to come and go freely, bringing supplies, visiting, and even staying overnight. For certain inmates with power or influence, life inside resembled more of a supervised resort than a correctional facility. Number 8. Unsolved Mysteries of Venezuela. Deep in the jungles of Bolivar State lies a legendary mountain known as the place where time stands still, Mount Roraima. Though it sits on the border of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, most of its area belongs to Venezuela. It was Mount Roraima that inspired Sir Arthur Conan Doyle to write his famous novel, The Lost World. What makes Roraima unique is its shape. The mountain's summit is perfectly flat, like a massive tabletop, surrounded by vertical cliffs over 400 meters high. The result is a formation that looks like a floating island in the sky. Its ecosystem is just as extraordinary. Completely isolated from the world below, home to hundreds of plant and animal species found nowhere else on Earth. The local Piman people call it Tepui Roraima, meaning House of the Gods. According to their legend, the mountain is the remains of a giant cosmic tree that once connected heaven and earth. When the gods became angry, they cut down the tree, leaving behind the flat-topped peak we see today, when thick clouds gather around it. Locals believe it's a sign that ancient spirits are awakening. Many explorers have reported strange experiences atop Roraima, hearing drum-like sounds echoing from within the rocks, or seeing flickering lights in the mist even when no one else was around. Scientists explain these as sound reverberations or reflections of light. But those who have witnessed them insist the mountain radiates an inexplicable, almost supernatural energy. Hundreds of kilometers west of Roraima, in Merida State, another natural phenomenon has stunned the world: Relámpago del Catatumbo, or the eternal lightning. At the mouth of the Catatumbo River, where it meets Lake Maracaibo, the sky ignites with thousands of lightning bolts every night for around 200 nights each year. This phenomenon can continue for up to 9 hours straight, producing hundreds of flashes per minute, yet almost no thunder. From afar, it looks as if an invisible city were glowing in the night sky. Despite decades of research, scientists still haven't pinpointed the exact cause. Some theories suggest that methane gas rising from the swamps mixes with moist air to trigger electrical discharges. Others argue that the unique topography of the Andes traps wind currents, creating perfect conditions for lightning formation. But the greatest mystery of all remains: why the Catatumbo lightning never truly disappears. Some years it quiets down for a while, but just months later, the night sky lights up again, as if an invisible hand were keeping nature's eternal lamp burning. Number 9. The strange and iconic symbols of Venezuela. Imagine walking down San Bernardino Street in the center of Caracas. Among rows of aging buildings, you look up and see dozens of dolls hanging from a balcony, their empty eyes seemingly following your every move. The eerie sight is enough to give anyone chills the first time they see it. This bizarre balcony has existed for years, though no one knows exactly when it began. Over time, countless stories have sprung up around it. Some say the house's owner was an eccentric old man who wandered the city at night collecting or perhaps borrowing dolls from children. Each time he found a new one, he hung it on the balcony as part of his growing haunted collection. But the truth turned out to be quite different. According to the owner's son, Jonathan Gonzalez, the doll balcony is actually an art installation created by his father, Estanislao Gonzalez. He was an artist fascinated by installation art and wanted to turn his balcony into a space preserving childhood memories. The idea was inspired by his close friend Jessus Polio, a truck driver who once decorated his vehicle with hundreds of dolls. If Caracas has its eerie yet fascinating doll balcony, then the city of Merida offers something just as famous but much sweeter. Heladeria Coromodo, the legendary ice cream parlor. It was once listed in the Guinness World Records as the shop with the most ice cream flavors in the world, a staggering 870 of them. If you tried one flavor a day, it would take you nearly 3 years to taste them all. What made Coromodo truly special wasn't just the number of flavors, but their creativity. Beyond the classics like strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate, the shop served bizarre and inventive options such as blue cheese ice cream, beef ice cream, salmon ice cream, wine ice cream, and even Pabellón Criollo ice cream, a twist on Venezuela's traditional dish of rice, shredded beef, black beans, and fried plantains. Inside the shop, the walls were covered top to bottom with names of the flavors, creating a colorful mosaic from floor to ceiling. Visitors came not only to indulge, but also to challenge themselves to try the strangest flavor they could find. Unfortunately, if you plan to visit Coromodo today, you're too late. Due to the prolonged economic crisis, the shop has been closed since 2017. Although there have been talks of reopening, it has yet to resume operations. For Venezuelans, Coromodo remains a sweet and nostalgic symbol of a more prosperous time, now lost to history. Number 10. The most unusual festivals in Venezuela. If you visit Venezuela in June, you'll likely witness one of the most unique festivals on the planet, Fiesta de San Juan. This celebration honors Saint John the Baptist and lasts for 3 days, filling the streets with music, drum beats, and lively dancing. What makes it truly fascinating is how the usual social order is almost completely reversed. For 3 days, workers, farmers, and the poor become the stars of the celebration. They sing, dance, joke, and even tease the upper class without being seen as disrespectful. Another unforgettable festival is the Dancing Devils of Yair, held on Corpus Christi Day in the town of San Francisco de Yair. It's one of Venezuela's oldest religious traditions and has been recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. On this day, hundreds of men dress up as devils, wearing bright red masks with curved horns and vibrant costumes, dancing through the streets. But they don't dance to frighten people, they perform to reenact the eternal battle between good and evil. As the drums echo, the devil procession marches toward the church and kneels before the Holy Sacrament, symbolizing the triumph of light over darkness. Though rooted in religion, the festival feels like a vivid street carnival, full of music, dance, and handmade artistry. Locals believe that each devil mask is unique, carrying the spirit of its wearer, and is passed down through generations. If you happen to be in Venezuela in February, prepare for Carnaval de El Callao, the country's grandest costume festival. The city of El Callao has been a gold mining hub since the 19th century and became home to immigrants from many regions, especially the Caribbean. That cultural fusion gave birth to a vibrant, music-filled carnival. During the festivities, the streets pulse with calypso, steel drum, and soca rhythms. Locals dress up as queens, pirates, or dancers, wearing enormous feathered headdresses. Women wear multi-layered skirts, colorful bead necklaces, and dance all day under the blazing sun. One unique feature of this carnival is that many songs are sung in English mixed with Creole, reflecting the area's multicultural roots. Though inspired by the famous Carnival of Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela's version has its own flavor, blending African beats, Latin passion, and the free-spirited energy that defines the Venezuelan soul. Number 11. The most famous tourist destinations in Venezuela. If there's a place on Earth that makes people believe nature can reach perfection, it's Angel Falls. This waterfall drops nearly 1 kilometer more than 10 times the height of Niagara Falls. Its water plunges from the summit of Ollantaytambo, a massive rock plateau over 2,500 meters high, deep in the Amazon rainforest. What's fascinating is that most of the water never reaches the ground. It evaporates mid-air, creating a misty veil that blankets the entire valley. When sunlight hits, the vapor refracts into rainbows, making the falls appear to glow amid the jungle. It's said that pilot Jimmy Angel was the first to spot the falls when he accidentally flew over them in the 1,930 seconds. And ever since, they've borne his name. Even with maps, the journey to Angel Falls remains a true adventure. Travelers must take a boat ride for hours along the Churun River, trek through dense rainforest, camp overnight to the sounds of insects, and only at dawn do they finally behold the towering wall of water cascading from the clouds. Leaving the jungle, you'll find Canaima National Park, one of the largest national parks in the world, almost the size of Belgium. This is the land of the Taboos, ancient flat-topped mountains that formed billions of years ago. From above, the region looks like another planet, where winding rivers curve around sheer cliffs and endless forests stretch to the horizon. At the park's center lies Lake Canaima, whose brownish golden water gets its color from natural minerals. Locals guide visitors in wooden canoes through the falling sheets of water, where the cool spray hits your face as the thunder of nature surrounds you, an experience few places can match. If you're in the mood for a change of scenery, head to Morrocoy National Park, one of Venezuela's most stunning coastal areas. The park is made up of hundreds of small islands and beaches, with soft white sand and crystal-clear turquoise water. Located not far from Caracas, Morrocoy is known as the country's weekend paradise. Just a short boat ride takes you to a private islet of your own. Beneath the surface lies a vibrant coral ecosystem filled with tropical fish, starfish, and sea turtles gliding through the reefs. The sand is so bright it makes you squint, and the water's so clear you can see the bottom even several meters deep. Number 12. The most famous foods in Venezuela. Even in the midst of economic crisis and constant power outages, nightlife in Venezuela remains as vibrant and energetic as ever. In working-class neighborhoods, especially in the slums, when the sun dips behind the rooftops, people start pulling out chairs to the sidewalks, turning on music, setting up speakers, and gathering with their neighbors. No electricity, no problem. They use candles, flashlights, or strings of battery-powered LED lights to keep the party going late into the night. Music is the soul of these evenings. Everywhere, you can hear Bluetooth speakers or homemade sound systems hanging from windows or perched on car hoods. Reggaeton, salsa, and merengue beats fill the narrow alleys. Groups of young people gather on street corners, dancing, chatting, and drinking cheap liquor, but laughter flows freely. In rural areas, Venezuelan nights take on a more intimate and cozy tone. When homes become too hot and stuffy, people move outside for some air. They play dominoes, talk, and share stories about their day. Sometimes they light a charcoal grill right by their doorstep, roast meat, eat dinner, and turn it into a small street-side picnic. For the middle class, nightlife carries a different flavor. They often gather in gated apartment complexes, where discreet bars and lounges cater only to familiar guests. These venues offer elegant settings, craft cocktails, and live music, a small escape from the worries beyond the walls. Still, blackouts remain an uninvited guest. Many owners have installed generators to ensure the party doesn't end midway. Nighttime street food is also an essential part of Venezuelan life. In Caracas or Maracay, street vendors keep their carts lit until late, serving everything from crispy empanadas to sweet, creamy rice chicha. In areas like Las Mercedes or Altamira, small night markets have become popular hangouts for young people. There you'll find fast food stalls, street games, and spontaneous performances that fill the night with energy. But if you want to experience a quieter side of Venezuela, take a walk through the old quarter of El Hatillo or the city of Coro after dark. The yellow streetlights casting over the old walls and red-tiled roofs create a peaceful charm rarely seen in such a turbulent country. Along Lake Maracaibo or the Orinoco River, you might spot small wooden boats gliding silently in the dark, or you can simply stand still and feel the soft river breeze cut through the tropical heat. Number 13. Nightlife in Venezuela. If there's one dish that represents Venezuelan cuisine, it's undoubtedly the arepa. This cornmeal cake appears everywhere. At breakfast, lunch, and even at late-night street stalls. Made from white or yellow corn flour, arepas are grilled or fried until crispy, then sliced open and stuffed with a variety of fillings. What makes them special isn't the recipe, but their limitless versatility. Venezuelans have hundreds of variations with cheese, shredded beef, avocado chicken, seafood, or black beans, all finding their way inside the bread. Some are so famous they have their own names, like Reina Pepiada, a chicken and avocado arepa named after a Venezuelan beauty queen from the 1950 seconds. In Caracas, you can find arepa shops open 24/7 because for locals, there's simply no wrong time to eat an arepa. If arepas are the national bread of Venezuela, then pabellón criollo is its culinary soul. This traditional dish has been part of family tables for generations and is often served during holidays or family gatherings. It consists of shredded beef, cooked in tomato sauce, served with white rice, stewed black beans, and thin slices of fried plantain. The simple combination carries deep symbolism. Venezuelans believe the white, black, and golden colors represent the three cultures that shape their nation: European, African, and indigenous. Another beloved dish is cachapa, a type of pancake made from freshly ground corn. The batter is cooked until golden on both sides and folded over with a generous layer of soft, melting cheese inside. The sweetness of the corn blended with the salty creaminess of the cheese creates a flavor that's unmistakably Venezuelan. Often sold at roadside stalls or push carts, cachapas are a favorite quick breakfast for commuters. During Christmas, the entire country comes together to prepare halaka, a dish that symbolizes reunion and is often compared to Venezuela's version of banchon. Wrapped in banana leaves, it contains corn dough filled with beef, chicken, olives, raisins, and spices. Families usually gather to make dozens of them, chatting, playing music, and sharing laughter, turning the process into a cherished holiday ritual that brings generations together. Number 14. Cost of living in Venezuela. If you're planning to visit or stay in Venezuela, understanding the cost of living beforehand will definitely help you prepare and avoid unwanted surprises. In the capital, Caracas, rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the city center ranges from $300 to $450 per month. For a more budget-friendly option, suburban areas are much cheaper, averaging around $150 to $250. Depending on your budget and lifestyle, you can easily find a place that suits your needs. When it comes to transportation, Caracas has a fairly modern metro system with incredibly low fares, only about $0.05 to $0.1 per ride. Public buses and carpool services are also popular and affordable options. They're a great way to get around conveniently while experiencing the everyday rhythm of Venezuelan life. If you prefer something faster and more comfortable, taxis or ride-hailing apps like Ridery are good choices. A short trip within the city costs roughly $2 to $4. And if you want to explore nearby regions on your own, rental cars are readily available, averaging between $30 and $45 per day. Food expenses in Venezuela are also quite manageable. If you cook at home and buy ingredients from local markets or affordable supermarkets, your monthly grocery bill will likely be around $100 to $150. Eating out at casual eateries costs about $2 to $3 per meal, while dining at high-end restaurants or tourist-oriented places ranges from $8 to $15. Overall, if you live modestly and spend wisely, the average monthly cost of living for one person in Venezuela is around $500 to $700. For those who embrace a minimalist lifestyle, it can go as low as $400 per month. Number 15. Travel safety tips for visitors to Venezuela. In Venezuela, one of the most common scams tourists may encounter involves criminals impersonating police officers or security personnel to steal valuables. They often wear uniforms, approach travelers on the street, and demand to check identification or wallets. To avoid falling for this, never hand over your real passport to anyone unless you're inside an official building with clear signage. If someone insists on checking your documents on the street, stay calm and request to go to the nearest police station for verification. Pickpocketing and snatch theft are also frequent in tourist areas, local markets, and bus terminals. These crimes are often carried out in pairs. One person distracts you while the other swiftly grabs your belongings. The best prevention is to use a crossbody bag with secure zippers, keep it in front of you, and avoid placing your phone or wallet in your back pocket. Also, try not to hold your phone, camera, or laptop while walking or sitting in outdoor cafes, as these items can be snatched within seconds. In major cities like Caracas, serious crimes such as kidnapping for ransom remain a concern. Tourists should avoid entering poor neighborhoods, narrow alleys, or deserted areas even during the day. If you wish to explore more deeply, go with a licensed local guide. When traveling around the city, never hail taxis directly off the street. Instead, book rides through reliable apps or ask your hotel to arrange transportation for you. Sure, here's the smooth, natural English translation of your paragraph, suitable for a voiceover tone. After discovering these 15 incredible facts about Cambodia, you've probably gotten a glimpse of just how unique this country truly is. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on our next adventures. Which fact impressed you the most? Leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.